This is BS with Joe. News, culture, and crazy. One blunt conversation at a time.
Every debate leans on numbers. Gun deaths, mass shootings, youth homicides. The problem isn't numbers. The problem is definitions. Change the definition and you change the story.
But Brad, stats don't lie. The CDC, the FBI, the Gun Violence Archive, these are official sources. Aren't they the truth?
Stats aren't lies, but they're not the whole truth either. Take the word youth. One group defines youth as under 18. Another group says it's 21. Some stretch it as far as 24.
Headline, youth homicides doubled. It could be talking about high school freshmen or 23-year-old gang members?
Exactly. When the public hears youth, they picture children on a playground. But the database might mostly be young adults in criminal networks. That mismatch isn't an accident. It steers your emotions.
But a death is still a death.
Perception. If lawmakers believe children are dying in droves, lawmakers will write laws aimed at elementary schools. But in reality, 21-year-old gang disputes, those laws miss the target completely. Good data isn't just totals, it's contents.
All right. What about the big number I always hear? 40,000 gun deaths a year.
Not really. More than half of those are suicides. So when you hear 40,000, understand that 20 plus thousand are people taking their own lives. That's tragic. But it's not the same as homicide. And it's not solved by confiscating people's property. It's a health issue. It needs mental health resources, not SWAT teams.
But if you're just a voter scanning headlines, you think all 40,000 are murders.
Exactly, and that's the trap. The stats are real, but the picture isn't in your head. It's fear that sells better than clarity.
Okay, so what about mass shootings? That term seems pretty solid.
It isn't. The FBI old definition was 4 or more killed, not including the shooter. The violence advocacy groups now count 4 or more shot, whether they live or die. So gang shootouts in parking lots get counted the same as mass school shootings. Very different realities, one statistic.
So, depending on the definition, the number of mass shootings can double or triple?
Correct. And when the headlines scream over 500 mass shootings this year, most people imagine 500 Columbines. In reality, a majority of them are street-level conflicts. Serious, yes, but what the headlines made you picture is something different.
So, we've got shifting definitions of youth, gun deaths that are mostly suicides, mass shootings that can mean anything. It feels like the ground keeps moving.
That's the point. Less precise language, the easier it is to steer emotions, and the emotional policies usually are bad policies.
So, what's the fix then? How should listeners process these numbers?
Ask 3 questions. First, what's the definition? Is youth 18, 21, 24? The second is what's included? Homicides, suicides, accidents? Third, who's counting? CDC, FBI, or private advocacy groups? If you don't know these 3 answers, you don't know the truth behind the numbers.
That takes a little more time than just scrolling a headline.
It does, but rights deserve clarity. When you're talking about the Constitution, it's about freedom. It's about natural rights, self-defense. You can't afford to base policy on sloppy stats.
So the real danger isn't just crime, it's bad data driving bad laws?
Exactly. And once those laws are on the books, they're hard to roll back. That's why we have to slow down, ask the questions, and see through the data traps.
So if I'm hearing you right, the numbers don't always lie, but they don't always tell the truth either.
Perfect way to put it. Numbers without context become weapons, and the only defense against that is clear thinking.
Okay, this has been BS with Joe.
Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment.